Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. CORVETTE Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about CORVETTE Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned Vettes on the lot and inbound. CORVETTE also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CORVETTECorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, everybody, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith is with me every other week, and we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Happy holidays, buddy.
Happy holidays to you and everybody out there in the Corvette Nation. Got a lot of good stuff coming up here, but it's great to be around family, and these holidays are just a lot about that kind of time together. So, yeah, it's going to be a good end of the year.
And you had a Merry Christmas to me moment with your brand new Hysteria Purple E-Ray, too.
Just been having a great time with that car. I'm actually real excited. I'm going to send you some photos, but getting Wheelcraft chrome wheels put on it. So real excited about that.
That's awesome, buddy.
Talk about an early Christmas.
There you go, for sure. Let's start off like we always do with a Corvette production update from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Absolutely. So we always get the latest VIN counts from Roger Keel's excellent spreadsheet on Facebook. We're about 3 months into the 2025 model year, and so far we have a total of 9,611 Corvettes produced for the model year. That breaks down to 6,368 Stingrays, 2,493 Z06s, and approximately 750 E-Rays. We talked about last time about how the constraints seem to be favoring the Z06 and E-Rays over the Stingrays, which are basically piling up on dealer lots. And we can see that reflected actually on Roger's spreadsheet. So the last time we were together, I read off a few E-Ray totals as we were seeing the daily production counts in the 20s and 30s.
Right.
But for the Z06, we've had multiple days over the last few weeks where they've been producing 60, 70 per day.
Wow.
Then this week they had a day where they produced 76 over 2 shifts. So they're really cranking those out. We've noticed that the Stingray counts are a little bit less. They were doing like 190, 200 cars. Now we're seeing a lot of 160, 170 totals during those 2 shifts. Could be impacting that a little bit. We're keeping an eye on it. And then as a reminder, the Bowling Green Assembly Plant will be closing after its second shift this Friday, December 13th, and workers will enjoy 3 weeks off with production resuming on Monday, January 6th. Even our hardworking folks up in Bowling Green are going to get a few weeks off to enjoy the holidays as well.
A well-earned vacation indeed, buddy. And also we have a new hire at the National Corvette Museum. Andy Markham is now the Director of Accounting.
Yeah, he's been appointed Director of Accounting. He will oversee financial operations of the museum, the National Corvette Museum's Motorsports Park, and the NCM Insurance Agency. And he's going to be focusing on strategic budgeting, forecasting, and all that fun stuff with revenue management. Thank God somebody's doing it, and not me. Markham actually is the latest addition to the management team at the NCM. We actually had Amy Harden join as Director of Development. And then early the beginning of the year, we had Robert Maxheimer chosen as Director of Curatorial Affairs and Education. It really sounds like they're getting their staff in place for the new year and excited to see what they bring us.
That's awesome. Also, let's shift our attention to Michigan now. We had an explosion at the Milford Proving Grounds and it damaged a couple homes. What happened there?
Yeah, this happened on Thanksgiving Day. Apparently, Milford Proving Ground is this huge area up there in Michigan, and it's actually more than just a testing area for General Motors. There's actually oil wells and storage tanks on the property that are owned by third parties, and then they pay GM a lease for being there. And it was one of these third-party storage tanks that blew up, damaging 2 homes that were about 200 feet away. Thankfully, no one was injured, but reports say it took the fire department several hours to put out these fires that were started from it. And then it just said, investigators are investigating the cause of it. Thankfully, no one was injured, and it wasn't really anything associated with General Motors other than the fact that it happened on their property at the Proving Ground.
Wow, that's crazy. Also, Keith, this is another accolade for the Corvette. The C8 Corvette was named a Car and Driver's 10 Best, and it was the 6th consecutive year they've been named to this award.
Yeah, so 6 consecutive years, the C8 has been named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list, which is essentially the 10 best cars chosen for the new model year. And the catch is these cars have to be under $110,000. That's one of the reasons why you're only seeing the Stingray and the E-Ray and not the Z06.
Got it.
Just to give you some of the flavor of the article, this distinguished team of editors goes on to highlight the Stingray's still exceptional value, the E-Ray's savage acceleration, and the unique Corvette proposition offered by each of these cars in the portfolio. They also describe the cars calling them superb and labeling the entire C8 lineup a smash hit.
Wow.
Congratulations again to the Corvette team. 6 consecutive years of being on the 10 best list at Car and Driver. That's a great story.
Fantastic, buddy. Well, let's take our first break, Keith. When we come back, Corvette racing and Corvette rumors are on deck next here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 5 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At Intellicence Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit Intellisense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through Intellisense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at RadiatorGrillStore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
For the best in CB Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray aftermarket carbon fiber replacement components and body kits, check out RacingSportConcepts.com or call 1-800-815-3751. Tell them Steve sent you to save 10% with coupon code Corvette Today.
Happy holidays from Corvette Today. Now, back to the show with your host, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Make sure you take advantage of the Wheelcraft holiday special going on now through December 31st. Purchase a $200 gift certificate for only $100 and use the Corvette Today promo code CT50 and get an extra $50 off your total purchase at Wheelcraft. Visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy, Keith Cornett. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. In segment number 2, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. First, with racing, Keith, it looks like Robert Wickens is ready to join DXDT Racing for the IMSA Sprint Rounds next year.
Yeah, in fact, this is a really, really cool comeback story because Robert Wickens is a paraplegic. He was in a major IndyCar racing accident back in 2018 at Pocono and left without the use of his legs, I believe. So 3 years later, he actually got his chance to get back in a race car running the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series. And the car had the Bosch hand control systems on it, so he was able to fully control the car. And in fact, he won 2 races in 2022. And then in 2023, he and his co-driver had 7 podiums, and they finished second in the series overall.
Wow.
They're actually getting a really accomplished driver who knows what he's doing. They've actually got the DXDT Z06 GT3R is going to be updated with the Bosch hand control systems. He's going to be testing out the cars. I don't know if he's actually going to be racing in Daytona because he's just doing the sprint rounds, I thought. So I think his first race will likely be Long Beach.
That sounds great. And what a story. What a comeback, right?
It really is, And of course, we had, I forget the other guy that was racing with the Aero car, and he was a full quadriplegic. He was doing the suck and blow with the tube, and he was able to turn the car with his head, moving back and forth. But to actually have Robert Wickens challenging for class wins and stuff at IMSA, that's a pretty remarkable comeback.
That's a big story for sure. In the rumors category, Keith, I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't think it's going to happen, but have we seen a Grand Sport on the streets?
Yeah, so this is interesting, and actually I do think it's going to happen. There was a picture of a camouflage C8 Corvette, let's say, that was spotted driving around the Detroit area, and it had some people going, because you can't really see the front of the car, so we have no idea if it had the E-Ray cooling vents on that front.
Right.
But the rear of the car had no spoiler whatsoever, and it had the side-mounted exhaust, so it kind of looked like an E-Ray without a spoiler. But again, it'd be so easy for GM to test this car now because they have all these different ways that they can hide whatever they're doing here. I made 3 points why I see a a Grand Sport being a natural fit for the C8. First of all, is we have too many Stingrays as dealers are currently marketing down like $15,000 or more.
Right.
So we could really use another model that would kind of release some of the pressure on Stingray. Secondly, we're actually hearing that the interior refresh in 2026 is going to happen, and it would make perfect sense to launch a new car with that feature on it, and especially a car that kind of serves as a replacement for that base model. That gets me to my third point here is that the E-Ray already has the LT2 and the wide body, so much of the development work has been done. And as the Grand Sport has always kind of been a parts bin model, there's a lot that they can choose from there. We'd like to see actually a little bit more horsepower, but if they could come up with a wide body Corvette, $85,000, that would fill a pricing gap between the Stingrays and the E-Ray and the Z06. And then that Grand Sport could become a cash cow for GM with lower development costs. It could actually end up being one of the best-selling models through the end of the C8 era, which could go through 2028 or even 2029 now.
I know that the Grand Sport in the C7 category was really well received and really sold through pretty well. Maybe you're right, buddy.
And then the C6, it was the best-selling model there for a while. As I said, it was completely cribbed together by just pulling stuff from the regular base coupes and then the Z06. And so by doing that, you're kind of giving drivers the best of both worlds. People like the wide body styling, but they also like the LT2. We talked about that a little bit, that lower end torque, the reliability, the gas mileage of the car is really good.
Yeah.
I think there's a really big case to be made for a Grand Sport, especially, again, that $80,000 price point fits it right in between Stingray and E-Ray.
You got a lot of great points. Maybe you're right. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping it comes true. You know what? The more the better. That's for sure, right?
I believe that too.
Our last rumor, Keith, Eddie X has spotted a ZR1 in Detroit, and it wasn't in the best of weather either, was it?
It was kind of snowy there, it looked like. In fact, I think that car might have been parked in the snow because it had snow up on the roof, on the back of the rear deck there, and then on the front where, the waterfall is going into that engine cooling area, there was snow on there as well. He had 4 pictures, 2 from behind and 2 from the front of the car. It's just fun to see these cars kind of driving around in really lousy weather. They do that because as drivers developing the car, they're most likely running winter tires on it. They always feel a lot more confident with those winter tires.
Yeah.
But the second point is another guy chimed in on that post and said, I saw one too. He had a Rapid Blue Corvette that he saw, a ZR1.
Huh.
And it was really snowy there. The ground was all mushy and stuff, that slush.
Right.
So they are driving those cars as long as they can, I guess.
That's pretty cool. All right, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the fun side, the lighter side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restored Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvettes, by training the best judges and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restore and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking 2 things. These cars are fabulous, and wow, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast, it's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your Corvette on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get enough income from your retirement to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
VetteFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25, and every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetteFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetteFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Take advantage of the Wheelcraft holiday special now through December 31st. Purchase a $200 gift certificate for only $100 and use the Corvette Today promo code CT50 for an extra $50 off your total purchase at Wheelcraft. Visit wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my pal, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. If you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that we cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always cover the fun side, the lighter side of Corvette. This first story is pretty interesting, Keith. The ZR1 is going to pace the Indianapolis 500, and former NFL player Michael Strahan is going to be the driver.
Yeah, this came really early. You know, normally we get this kind of news in March or April even, but to get it in November was kind of a surprise. But the news is that Fox Sports is going to be picking up the broadcast of all the IndyCar races. I think there's like 17 of them scheduled for 2025.
Wow.
And of course, one of those is the Indianapolis 500. So during their NFL pregame show on the weekend before Thanksgiving, Fox announced that the Corvette ZR1 is going to be the Indy 500 pace car and that Michael Strahan will be the official driver. When they were talking about it on set there, they actually had that black show car with the blue stripes and the blue wheels in the studio when they made the announcement, although the real Indy 500 pace car will have an official livery design that comes out later next year probably. It's still going to have a custom design for that, but really cool to see that. And the other thing I'm quite interested to see is how well a big man like Michael Strahan fits in the car.
Yeah.
You know, he was a defensive lineman, so he was a pretty big guy. We'll be watching to see how well he fits. These cars are generally coupes that they run, although they've been running convertibles too, but they generally run the coupes, so it'll be interesting to see how well he fits in that car.
Yeah, I think he's about 6'6" or 6'7", so it will be interesting to see him getting in and out of that car, that's for sure.
Really cool news to see the ZR1, and of course, we were expecting it because it's always the next model up. They'll have no problem leading that class to the green flag.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, I love this every single year. GM puts out a holiday commercial. It's now out. I always watch last year's, and I always say, okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And I cry every doggone time I watch it. This one is just as good.
Well, it came across my newsfeed. I'm like, great, I'm going to be crying here in about 10 minutes, you know? So it's like I knew in advance that it was going to happen. So, yeah, last week they came out with the annual holiday commercial. And actually, I've already seen it running during the NFL games, especially on Thanksgiving. But what you really want to see is the extended 5-minute version. So go to YouTube, go to CorvetteBlogger, search for it. Frankly, you're going to be in tears. It's all about a family dealing with the loss of their father/grandfather. And it's also about a young man kind of finding his place in the world and kind of dealing with that loss as well. And as always, the Chevrolet is there that kind of brings all the generations together. It's really another instant classic by Chevrolet. Definitely watch it. And if you haven't seen any of these, I know on our blog post, we've got the last 2 or 3 of them from the previous years listed below in the related area. So definitely go and watch those because they're just really feel-good moments. Kind of makes you nostalgic for the good old days, so to speak, and then wish like, man, I wish I would have hung on to some of those cars because they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new holiday commercial, another grand slam from GM and whoever their ad companies that put that together.
I also posted it on our Corvette Today Facebook group page as well, sitting right next to last year's where I cry every single time I watch that.
Right.
Also, Keith, last month in show number 238 of Corvette Today, I had Jordan Lee and Dustin Gardner on the show. Jordan Lee is the global chief engineer for small block engines for General Motors, not Chevrolet, not Corvette, for General Motors. And Dustin Gardner is the assistant chief engineer of small block engines. We did a deep dive into the LT7 engine for the ZR1 in detail. Well, SavageGeese has come out with theirs as well, and they did a ZR1 show, and they did an LT7 show as well, didn't they?
Yeah, so they put together this event at the Milford Proving Ground, and basically they were up there for a few days doing a lot of filming, interviewing different people. The nice thing is when you're watching the video, you see Taj Juchter coming back, and it's almost like he's been gone forever, but yet he's just retired a few months ago. You got, of course, like you said, Dustin Gardner talks. Mike Bailey, program engineering manager, and Chris Barber, who's the lead development engineer at ZR1, are all talking about the various aspects and challenges they faced. It's a great video. It's very in-depth, but it's also quite long. It comes in a little over 50 minutes. If that video is too long, then there's another one they just put out. It's a 10-minute walk-around video featuring Dustin Gardner, and he's talking about the ZR1's LT7 twin-turbo engine. What's really cool is that the engine that they have there, it's all signed. Dustin said, quote, "It was signed by those who had their fingerprints on it." It was the actual engine that was used for the SAE power certification test, which of course came in at the 1,064 horsepower and the 828 foot-pounds of torque. Real special engine for them. The other thing he said about that engine was it was one of the later development engines, but it was one of the first to be built inside the PBC at the plant, the Performance Build Center. Kind of a cool thing to see there. He shows some of the footage when it was on the dyno when they were doing their certification tests. A neat piece of history that will one day be in a museum and hopefully at the Corvette Museum.
Yeah, go back and watch or listen to Corvette Today, number 238. That's Dustin Gardner and Jordan Lee. And then go watch the SavageGeese. Both of these videos are very, very good. It's a lot of fun to watch. Speaking of Taj Juchter, Keith, the C8 ZR1 is featured in a brand new MotorTrend documentary about the American V8, and Taj is in it.
Yeah, this is another video I'd highly recommend watching. And this one only comes in about a half hour or so, so it's very doable, if you're just hanging out and need something to put on.
Yeah.
We also get some Z06 and some ZR1 goodness. Of course, like you said, Taj is there, and a small block chief engineer, Jordan Lee. We hear from him as well. And then they also have some other people talking in the automotive world, like Jay Leno, Jim Farley of Ford, and others. Really good documentary, kind of like the old days of the V8, how it got its start, and then the things that all these manufacturers are doing today. General Motors is not the only manufacturer to have a high horsepower V8 engine, although ours is the best, but others have done it before, and so they kind of go into the different brands and what they've done as well. Really nice little documentary from MotorTrend.
Yeah, it was a great video. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about engines and ZR1s and everything. This is a good one as well. Our final story, Keith, you've got the top 10 Corvette dealers year to date this year, don't you?
Yeah, so we got the sales figures for November, and then that also includes the January through November sales totals. And it really shows that nobody's catching up to McMulkin Chevrolet, as they've got like 1 billion cars they've sold this year. They're actually going to be the top Corvette dealer. They have 1,746 Corvettes sold through the year, while Ciocca Corvette in second place is 984. And then our friend Mike Furman at Criswell Chevrolet is third with 472. The interesting battles are actually going to start taking place because we've got a tie between the fourth place Bomden Dadeland store and then fifth place Les Stanford in Dearborn, Michigan. They are both tied with 402 deliveries each. With 1 month to go, one of those guys is either going to stay the same or move up. So that's going to be interesting. And then the final three dealers who are 8th, 9th, and 10th on the list, they're only actually separated by 12 vehicles. That's Conti at Coghlan Chevrolet, another Bomden West Kendall store, and then Stonebriar Chevrolet in Frisco, Texas, who are battling for those top 10 positions. It's interesting. Of course, the cars that are sold by the top 10 dealers only represent like 15 or 16% of all Corvettes sold in a year. While they are always a go-to place to get a good price, and generally they have cars available, a lot of allocations, sometimes because they're known for that, they can still have a little bit of a backup, while some of the other smaller dealerships now have worked all the way through their lists and now are actively looking for customers. Always just something to consider. We like to talk about the top 10 because that's where a lot of the action is, but the majority of Corvette sales happen outside there, so always do your due diligence.
It's always good to see the top 10. It's kind of a fun thing for sure.
It is. It's sporty, who's going to win, that kind of thing. So a little bit of competition always makes everybody better.
You always like to be in the top 10, that's for sure. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. I'll see you in 2 weeks, which will be the week of Christmas.
Sounds great. Well, everybody out there, be safe this holiday season, and we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks, and keep waving.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels, get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Racing Sport Concepts at RacingSportConcepts.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.